Imagine being on death row knowing every single day could be your last. You're locked in a maximum security prison, one of the toughest in the country, with guards watching your every move. Escape seems impossible, but for 6 inmates at the Mecklenburg Correctional Center in Virginia, it was just a challenge waiting to be conquered. In 1984, they staged one of the most daring prison escapes in U.S. history. Mecklenburg Correctional Center, located in Virginia, was a state-of-the-art maximum security facility housing some of the most dangerous criminals. Opened in 1976, it was considered escape-proof. Designed to hold violent offenders and death row inmates, Mecklenburg had everything to keep them locked inside: high walls, armed guards, and sophisticated surveillance. But no system is perfect, and no prison can guarantee total security. The cracks that appeared in Mecklenburg would be ruthlessly exploited by 6 death row inmates who had nothing to lose. These 6 men were among the most dangerous in the prison, all sentenced to die for heinous crimes. Linwood and James Briley were brothers, known for their brutal crime spree that left several people dead. Earl Clanton, Derek Peterson, Willie Leroy Jones, and Lem Tuggle were also notorious murderers. They lived day by day, knowing that sooner or later their time would come. But rather than waiting for their execution, they began planning an extraordinary escape, and it all started with patience and observation. The inmates spent weeks studying the routines of the guards. They noticed small details: when the control room was left unattended, which guards were less vigilant, and when the doors between sections of the prison would open. They knew they couldn't overpower the system head-on, so they opted for a strategic approach. One key moment came when they realized that the control room, which controlled all the cell doors, was briefly left unattended when the guards were transferring prisoners back to their cells. This would become the cornerstone of their escape plan. On the day of the escape, everything was in place. Earl Clanton hid in a bathroom near the control room while the rest of the inmates were being escorted back to their cells after recreation time. As soon as the control room was left open, Clanton made his move. He rushed inside, overpowered a guard, and opened all the cell doors. With their cells unlocked, the rest of the group quickly sprang into action. They overpowered the guards with homemade weapons, stealing uniforms and riot gear. But they needed a way to get through the main gates. That's where the real genius of the plan came in. Disguised in guard uniforms, the inmates wheeled a television set out of the prison, claiming it was a bomb that needed to be disposed of. They even wrapped it up and placed it on a stretcher to make it look more convincing. Spraying fire extinguishers to cause confusion, they convinced the staff to open both the inner and outer gates simultaneously, something that had never been done before. And just like that, they were out. The 6 men climbed into a van and drove off, leaving behind one of the most secure prisons in the United States. But freedom didn't last long. The escape set off one of the largest manhunts in U.S. history. Police, the FBI, and other law enforcement agencies immediately began searching for the escaped killers. Derek Peterson and Earl Clanton were the first to be caught, just a day later, enjoying a meal of cheese and wine at a laundromat. Their casual demeanor was no match for the vigilant public, who quickly tipped off the authorities. The Briley brothers were a bit more elusive, but their downfall came from a phone call. They had fled to Philadelphia and tried to contact a known associate, but the FBI was already tracing their movements. The call led them straight to the garage where the brothers were hiding. After a brief chase, they too were caught. As for Lem Tuggle, his escape ended when he was caught robbing a convenience store just a few days later. Each of the 6 men was returned to prison, and their dreams of freedom were over. The escape shocked the country and led to major changes in the Virginia prison system. Security was tightened, guards received better training, and the entire corrections system was overhauled. Mecklenburg Correctional Center itself would eventually close down in 2012, its reputation forever tarnished by the 1984 escape. Today, the land where the prison once stood has been turned into an industrial site. The 6 inmates were all returned to death row, and over the following years, each was executed. Linwood Briley was the first, executed in 1984, and Lem Tuggle was the last, executed by lethal injection in 1996. Though their escape was brief, it remains one of the most audacious in U.S. history. 6 men who dared to defy the system, if only for a short time. The story of the Mecklenburg 6 is a chilling reminder that even the most secure systems can have their flaws, and those who have nothing to lose will always find a way to exploit them. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this story, be sure to like and subscribe for more incredible true crime tales. See you next time.